When fish are getting ready to spawn, so we're talking about the pre-spawn time, what should we be looking for? Is that a complicated question? It can be, but the answer is going to be very, very simple. Good morning, guys and girls. May 4, Colossians 3:8. Reading out of the Catch a Better Life book. If you want to get a copy of this book, go to jimmyhouston.com. You want it personalized, be sure and let us know you want it personalized and to whom you want it personalized. We're caught up on shipping all of them out, so in good shape. You'll find a lot of other great stuff there on jimmyhouston.com. If you are not subscribed to the Catch of the Day channel, subscribe to that on YouTube right now. We got about 20,000 people on there. Great people. It is the most important channel on YouTube because it will change your life for the better. That's right, the better. Colossians 3:8 says, "Now you yourselves are to put off all of these." Put them off. Get rid of these. Anger, malice, wrath, blasphemy, filthy language out of your mouth. That's what we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, and filthy language that comes out of our mouth. We're still going to get mad. We're still going to want to pay people back for things. We're still going to say some things we shouldn't or think some things we shouldn't, but don't let those things proceed out of your mouth. Here's what I wrote about that. All man-made lakes create current flow. That's right. A man-made lake, no matter how big, it be 20,000 acres like Lake Tenkiller, or 100 or 200,000 acres like some of the giant man-made lakes around the world. These lakes are made by damming up rivers and creeks. Obviously, what comes in the river in the upper end must flow out the dam. Must flow out the dam. What comes in is going to flow out. Once those lakes are full, the water is simply moving through it. It's simply moving through it. This creates current. Current, usually the more current, the better the fishing. So if you're in a man-made lake and it's got a current flow, and they all do, you want to pay attention to that current flow. That's when the fish will be biting the best. Concentrate on waters where the water is flowing, where it's flowing, on points, humps, ledges, and bends and creek channels. All of these places are excellent. So I thought about a time last August when I was fishing with Stacy King over at Table Rock. We fished all day. We probably caught 8 or 10 fish. We didn't do bad, didn't do great, but then they turned the water on. What that means, they started releasing water from the dam. That created current in that big, giant Table Rock lake. Once the current started biting, the fish started biting, we actually went back to an area where we started that morning and caught bass after bass after bass. I'd have one on, I'd be talking about it, he'd catch one. He'd be talking about it, I'd catch one. We were seeing all those fish on our Garmin Live Scope, catching them on a variety of lures, including an umbrella rig, swim baits, jigs. I even threw a spinnerbait down there and caught some on the spinnerbait. All of these places are excellent. Points, humps, ledges, and bends in the creek channels. Just like flowing water through the dam, what is in our hearts and minds will flow from our mouth. You hear what I'm saying? Just like water flowing through a dam. What we have in our mind, what we have in our heart, is going to flow out of our mouth. We all slip up at times. We all say things we shouldn't. You ever had a really bad backlash, a really bad one, or lost a really big fish? Shucks. Sometimes you say a lot more than shucks. But God creates in each of us a brand new person when we are saved. A brand new person when we are saved. This is like taking off dirty clothes and putting on brand new, clean clothes. Just as a current makes fishing better, we become better when we are saved. We are guided by the Holy Spirit. Now, we are not controlled by the Holy Spirit, but we are guided by the Holy Spirit. There's a big difference. Being controlled means that if we get ready to say something other than shucks, the Holy Spirit will let us say it. He won't control us, but He will guide us. A lot of times He'll say, shucks. So whatever bad that is in your mind, don't let it proceed out of your mouth. Let's go through them one more time real quickly. Anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy. That's a really bad one. That's saying something about God himself. I get so amazed when politicians and big time people go on national television and shake their fist at God. And that's what you're doing when you're blaspheming God. Filthy language. Don't let it come out of your mouth. Here's our tip for today. Find stopping areas for fish moving in and out of spawning areas. Stopping areas, such as, I already talked about them a little bit, humps and points. Humps and points. Points are probably one of the very best stopping areas. If you can find a hump in a flat, fish like to move into flats after they get back into the areas they're going to spawn. The big females will be in a flat, getting ready to go up on a bed. They'll be in that flat, and you can go fish in that flat, move around in that flat, and catch some of those big females. But if you find the areas where they really stop and stay and quit moving around, you can really catch a big one. Usually that's a point or it's a hump. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, I sure do love you.